ended, but I don't care.
Good.
Okay.
Thank you, Peter.
Right. I'm gonna open the meeting of the Harbor Plan on September 22nd, 2025 at 1:22. I'm gonna make sure that all the sitting members can hear me. Dave,
Yes,
Emily,
Yes, here.
all right, you guys just leave your thing on. It's only 5 of us. Peter,
Aye, here.
Steve,
Derek.
okay, we have no staff. We have our people. Jack, can you hear us?
I can, yes.
Kim, can you hear us?
Yes.
And is there anybody else that I can't see?
Feel that. You know, usually first we'll hit okay.
Nope,
Don't
nobody
see
else.
any. We have established a quorum. And we're continuing on with the, where we left off, which I have to pull up.
Yeah, the only thing is I think Peter sent some minutes.
Yeah, I set them at about 10 after 8 this morning.
Okay, dude, was that whole list?
Nope,
What was it?
because we have another meeting after this.
Okay,
So it was just the minutes from last week,
all right, so that would be 9:15, yeah,
9:15, nope.
yeah, okay.
making a motion to approve.
Okay, Dave made a motion to
Second.
approve, Steve seconded, all those in favor, Dave,
Aye,
Emily,
Aye.
Steve,
Aye.
Peter,
Aye,
myself, okay, what else is on the agenda after that, anything else?
Yes. I want to share my screen. We need to jump back into the plan. I did make the edits from the last meeting, the ones that we talked about. And we have a few more comments to go through. I would like to circle back to the conversation about the Nantucket sailing, what is it called? Nantucket Community Sailing. But first,
Yeah.
let's go through a couple other comments first, and then we can go back to that. Does that work?
Now, what page are you starting on?
Hold on. Let's see. Okay, so it would be, for me, it's page 56.
We're not gonna talk about the stuff that we went through already that you changed?
I don't think so. It's,
Okay.
I mean, unless you guys, I don't know if you've taken a look at it yourselves. There's one comment that I'd like to check with you on, which is the comment about accessibility and the recommendation about that. And I'd like to run the language of that by you. But the other changes, I think we're fairly straightforward, but always feel free to jump in and take a look where there's track changes.
So what section are we on?
2.6 boating and navigation.
I see an awful lot of red. Okay,
Okay, so there was a comment from the public from Alan Schnitzer. He wanted the committee to consider recommending selective permitting of elevated dock or pier structures where they serve the harbor plan's ecological and restoration goals, maybe a limited pilot program closely managed and monitored, which would allow the town to test the effectiveness of the approach. And he thought that the elevated access ways could be important to coastal sustainability by keeping people off the fragile coastal edges where trampling damages the cord grass and salt marshes, compacts peat, and accelerates erosion.
what goal was that or objective was that?
It's just under 2.6 goal 1. It's over on the side.
Okay,
my comment about that is if that's gonna be included, it can't say it can't say dock or pier structure. It needs to say something like walkway or observation walkway or something. Docks and piers are prohibited unless for commercial use, as adopted by the previous harbor plan and carried forward through the bylaws. So, you
We
know,
haven't changed that.
if
But
it-
I'm not so sure, sorry, Dave, I'm not so sure that this doesn't already exist, because if you walk from the access of
Great Harbor.
Fully Mill Road and you walk toward town,
Yeah.
you'll come to a walkway that goes a long way across the marsh, and it's an elevated walkway.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. no, I agree with you. But then it should say elevated walkway and not dock or pier.
right, I agree.
Right, I agree. Steve?
It's awfully vague to me. I'd like to see some like design structure or areas where they think this might be. I mean, is this on land bank land, on town land, on private land?
He's talking about a limited pilot program.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think it's,
Good
too
point.
vague.
but it must already exist, because the Concom must have had to approve that, and it goes over a salt marsh, so maybe it needs to say, when, the necessity of traversing a salt marsh, is required, because what other thing would you build it over?
Well, Concom would require that. We did that when a woman out in Mattocket, right through the salt marsh. We made.
Oh, to get to
Yeah.
the creek?
Yeah, and it's elevated.
I don't know
And
why it has to be a pilot program if we already have done
Yeah.
it already.
the Concom already has jurisdiction over
My
that.
feeling is it's too vague and I don't see the need to incorporate it.
Yeah,
Okay.
and like Dave said, we don't need to introduce any wiggle room for someone who might wanna
Yeah,
take that.
It-
take
you know,
that lead.
to Steve and Peter's point, there's that one on Heather Creek that goes over
Yeah.
that salt marsh, really nicely to get out to that float with public access. So the process, permitting process and everything must already be in place.
It is, because the Concom's gonna require that.
Well,
Yeah,
we can just get rid of it then, because this person must not be aware that the process exists.
right.
Because if you're doing it anywhere near a salt marsh or the harbor, the plant,
that's
the
Concom.
Concom's
Yeah.
gonna see it.
That's
Within
not-
75 feet of it, we're gonna see it.
I say don't put it.
I don't,
Yeah.
yeah, put it in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the only thing that you could consider is if you want to say, let's see, explore other opportunities to do this kind of thing, or see if there are
No.
other places.
No,
Too vague.
no, because we're running afoul of the local wetlands, we're running afoul of the DEP, the state, everybody else. So
Yeah.
no, there's no exploring of any options here. They
Okay,
have
just
to- they
providing
have-
an option.
They can already go to the Concom and propose to do it and
Right.
show it.
Right.
Yeah,
So it's, this
Right.
person's just isn't informed enough to know that it exists.
Right, so if it's a coastal resilience thing, then it would be in your plan and you would
Yeah.
go to the Concom and say, this is
Right.
what we want to do for this area specifically, or.
especially if they connect that area from
It already exists.
the railroad bed up
Right.
to
I mean, the land
Hayes property.
The land
Gotta
bank
do
has an
something like
elevated
that.
walkway made of
Yeah.
recycled materials that goes over the marshes on the
Pulpus Road, this one,
Garden Farm.
yeah,
So
No,
we already got
I
them,
agree.
yeah, take it out, not put it in,
Okay,
I think it would be confusing with existing wetland and zoning regs.
yeah.
okay. That
So
sounds
we're-
good. Jumping down to its goal. Excuse me, goal 1, objective 2, recommendation 1.
Oh.
Not that far down from that.
Are we talking 2.7 or where are we?
Excuse me, 2.6.
So it's objective what?
objective
Sorry,
two.
got something in my throat. Objective 2, recommendation 1. The question was, and I can read it. Pursue opportunities at the following sites with potential to provide new boat landings, launch ramps, dinghy storage, etc. This would ensure effective management of these facilities. So there are a few options. Hang on one second.
You added some stuff there.
Okay, sorry. There are a few options limited or options provided there as to where this could potentially happen. And there was a question as to additional floating docks at and racks near the town pier, and we wanted to ask if there's actually space available to provide new boat landings, launch ramps, et cetera.
No, but the width of the, the width of the the existing floating structure when we designed it and then recently dredged around it is at the maximum width you could go on the south side there. You can't go any further. You'd have to do significant dredging, have to displace a bunch of eelgrass and moorings. So the answer is it can't, there's not available space there.
Dave, what about, the property that they bought? You're standing in Washington Street to the right of Town Pier. That's an open lot that the town owns, as part of the pier.
Yeah,
Can we
that's what I mean.
We put racks there?
Oh, you could put dinghy racks,
Yeah.
racks there, but you can't put any more floating docks there.
Yeah, no, I
Where's
think
that? Where'd you say that was?
it's to the south of Town Pier.
Right.
On a
Land bank,
map.
isn't it?
Land bank property,
Yeah.
I think, isn't it?
No, no,
Yeah.
no, the town owns that.
Town owns it, okay.
Yeah, town owns it.
We
Yeah.
bought it from Linda Loring.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
and
don't know
you
why
could,
they
and
couldn't
it'd
put
be
it
a
there.
great place to put racks for kayaks, you know?
Kayaks and.
Because
whatever
right now you go down to Sales and the kayaks are like,
All over the place.
somebody was saying that they couldn't even get to there because they were piled up on top of
Yeah,
theirs.
so I mean,
Yeah,
that would.
The ideal for that.
Yeah, that would be.
But it's just sitting there.
And could you,
could
any
take out-
other information as to where that is? If there's like a street or I just want to be clear in the plan what we're talking about.
Adjacent to the Marine Department.
Hold on.
You could take out additional floating docks. I think you can remove that.
Yep, and just put racks near the town pier.
Racks.
Immediately south of the
It's
Marine
adjacent to
Department
it.
building, or sorry, the Marine Police Department, whatever it is
Hold on.
building.
Is it on the GIS?
Yeah, I'm gonna. Moving in,
Gonna be a number.
Sorry, so adjacent to the
Town pier.
town pier?
Yeah, you don't wanna say immediately adjacent because you may wanna do it on the far edge of that lot.
it's
So
36 Washington,
34 Washington.
Washington, 36 and 38 Washington.
Yep.
Street.
Okay,
And 40, we've got 36, 38 and 40. All vacant, all open.
Yeah,
lots.
land bank does own that lot where Glowacki had his house.
Yes, we sold it to them, but the town owns 36, 38 and 40.
There you go.
They're all pretty narrow, but they're all vacant.
okay, great. All right, that's helpful.
I think you could also on that last one, maybe, that last item that said courtesy floats for transient boaters at a downtown location. That's kind of. That's vague and doesn't really say anything.
Mhm.
It's been recommended that should be at that steamship property up from Judson.
That beach next to Judson's?
Yes,
Okay,
but
Oh.
but the steamship owns that, so it you know,
yeah, that's not gonna happen.
yeah, no kidding.
And Judson's building's never gonna come down, it was the only original building down there left.
Yes, I mean, that, I would think you could take that whole one out, but
Yeah.
that's just me.
Okay. You can
They
remove
couldn't
that.
those things, that'd be impossible, at least. Okay, anything else in there?
All right,
And
the
did-
next, Sorry, go
I think that, this includes, if you wanna say such as these facilities? Or
Uh.
does it, this includes ensuring effective management of these facilities? I mean, should there be a dot after facilities and it should be somewhere such as?
yeah, I think so.
Cause you're listing stuff here. Anytime you
Right.
list something, you gotta do dot at the end of that, like you did on all the rest of them.
Yeah.
You got, yeah, all your other recommendations have the dot when we have a list. You
Yeah.
just forgot the dot here,
Okay,
you know, about that stuff.
Yep.
And you did on recommendation, the next one too. Just go through and make sure you've got dots, all of these things, that there's a list.
Right. Okay. Okay, the next comment, or this is actually from me. I wanted people to read it's, let's see, what are we under? Voting, I think we're still under, no, we're under a different topic, hold on. We are under 2.7. And then it's, under objective 4, recommendation 2 on page 69 is what I have. I wanted people to read recommendation 2 and let me know if the rewording of that was correct.
Which goal
It is, I believe it's goal 1.
and which recommendation objective? Is that the one?
Yeah, it's goal 1. And then it's objective 4, recommendation 2.
What's objective?
Peter, does that sound right to you?
Environmental justice communities. Is that it?
Let me see.
No, it's recommendation 2, incorporate recommendations from the coastal resilience plan into the town's capital improvement plan. As a
It gets
strategic
confusing
goal.
here. Your objective to what recommendation?
Objective 4, recommendation 2.
What is objective 4?
Continue to improve and diversify the town's ability to fund coastal resilience and adaptation projects.
Well, you gotta run that by me again. As a recommendation to goal, whatever it is, it starts with incorporate recommendations from the coastal resiliency plan.
Yeah, that one.
Okay, what about it?
There are some edits that I believe somebody told me to make on this one, and I wanted to make sure that this wording is correct.
I just read
Oh,
Peter,
it.
hold on, we're just still reading it. Are you done?
No,
What are you asking us?
If this rewording is correct, there are track changes in there, and I want to make sure that that's all correct.
Okay.
oh. Stop. Yeah, it looks right to me.
Okay, great.
Steve, Emily, Dave,
Yep, sounds okay to me.
I'm good.
okay,
Okay. The embarkation fee, I think we pretty much have that figured out, in that people felt like the embarkation fee is a difficult one to do for Nantucket, so that we would take that out.
Not the embarkation fee. Kim, that was that Hawaiian thing that we were talking about?
Right, right.
Yeah, the embarkation fee is different.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was differential.
yeah, it was a
leaving
visit,
the
like a visitor
embarkation
tax or something.
Yeah.
yeah, we can't do the head tax.
Yeah,
We're
this,
leaving Embarkation fee in there, and I think it's too
Absolutely.
loose on the fun, on the way you said it.
Yeah, the whole discussion was about how,
Pursue, period.
the whole discussion was about how this fee that we're talking about is illegal in Massachusetts. And nowhere in the meeting last week did we use the word embarkation, so this is a different fee.
exactly. This should stay as written. It was that other Hawaiian thing.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was a comment from Libby, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Right,
Libby-
exactly.
Libby was saying it was illegal. So,
however,
Correct.
I don't want to leave any room here. And continue to explore. No, pursue funding through activities,
I wasn't sure.
no. Pursue, because we need to get that funding back.
Right, pursue additional funding, pursue
Yeah.
increased funding,
Yeah,
Yeah, pursue increase.
Make it a
I like
statement.
increase.
increased funding.
through the embarkation, increasing.
There we go. That's what you want to say. Take,
Mhm.
and you can even take out the word continue. You can just make
Yeah.
it pursue if you want.
Pursue. and not such as
No, exactly.
increase in embarkation fee. And we'll keep going after this and hammering the crap out of it until we get it. Because I did bring it up at
Mhm.
town meeting a couple of years ago, about this. It's not going to us. It's not going to the harbor. It's not going to coastal resiliency. And everybody's well aware of coastal resiliency now.
Apparently it's not going to fixing the dorms for the summer specials either.
Oh, yes, it is.
No, it might be going there.
It's going there. Because they consider those guys helpful
Oh,
downtown.
I know, I'm
So
joking
that's how
because,
this-
I'm joking
it's
because they
what
just
this-
condemned the building after we paid $4.2 million to fix it.
Yeah,
Having
So you-
used to maintaining those buildings, why did we have to shingle them?
well, they were concrete, weren't they?
Yeah, they were cement block that last for 1,000
Yeah.
years.
They were leaking, the roofs were all leaking. I know that for a fact.
Well, the roof is one thing, but the siding is siding.
Everybody was used to them being concrete block.
I love them, but I'm biased.
It's like shingling this building.
Building's here forever, isn't it? This building's never going away,
Going away.
not in my lifetime.
So you understand what we're saying, Kim, about being,
Yep.
this is a statement. This is not some fluffy thing. This is a
Yeah.
statement.
Yep,
Yep,
definitely.
okay. I wanted to bring up, there was a comment from the public about, I'll just read it, kind of long, but changes to the ferry embarkation fee would take support of all the other communities to raise it. And it was recently proposed by Cape and Islands, and I do not believe their efforts garnered much support from the port communities. The Chapter 91 fees, fines and fees for noncompliance per a recent conversation regarding one are to be deposited into the waterways account. The money in waterways has typically been used for minor dredging and work on the pier. The possibilities of stabilization fund and other opportunities, as noted above, were discussed by the Coastal Resilience Committee, along with analysis from town council. We continue to pursue grants and certainly could look into public-private partnerships. It should be noted that the town continues to propose an annual town, and the annual town meeting has approved an annual appropriation currently at 1 million for consultants.
Okay, well,
Okay,
I don't care
I don't
That-
either.
that you would need to have the support of the other communities because you can, once you start the movement, you can gain support and traction. And I haven't been involved with that. I don't believe that that's a true statement. I could be proven wrong, but each individual town has to adopt their own fee structure. But the fact that it says it would take the support of all of those communities, I don't care. That needs to be done. We need
Yeah,
to
but
I
start
think
the
We voted
campaign.
on that here.
no, but there's, excuse me. It was Libby. Did she come to a meeting or I can't remember which, but I think you get the other towns involved when you hit the threshold of a certain amount that you want to go beyond.
Right.
Like maybe it was,
Not
if
50
you want,
cents.
if you want to go beyond $2, then
Right.
all the other
Yeah.
towns have to go with it,
Correct.
but below that, you can do what you want.
That's right.
And we have
That's exactly right. You can raise your up to the $2.
Yeah, so,
So we're at 50 cents right now, I
Yeah.
think, so we can
This
go
is
up.
turbid.
$2.
This is,
Want to
this
go
is,
to 250.
I think we explained this in the administrative and coordination section. I think the way the statute is written now, you can go to $1.
thank you.
And
Right.
what they're proposing to do is to go to $2, and but that requires a bill that the legislature has to pass. And I think that's what he's referring to. And when he says port cities, I don't know if he's talking about the mainland port cities,
Yes.
Falmouth and Hyannis, because
Yeah.
clearly Martha's Vineyard is supportive of it. They're the ones that keep pushing this with the state legislators. So I can't imagine why Falmouth and Hyannis would be opposed to it. It's just an enabling thing that if they don't want to raise their fee, they don't have to. What we're talking about first is legislation to allow it to go to something like $2. But that doesn't mean any town has to do it. Then each of the towns would then vote the town meeting would then vote what they want to set it at, up to $2.
You know, Jack, you articulated that perfectly. That's exactly right. You can go up to $1 within our local structure.
Right, and I think that's what we were
That's what
talking
we're
about.
talking about.
Right, but Turbitt's comments aren't important.
Yeah, I agree.
And
So we-
and if they want to spend $1 million on consultants, then hire a consultant to find out if all the port communities want to join in. And as Jack points out, you mean to tell me Falmouth and Woods Hole and those places aren't being impacted? Of course
Yeah.
they are.
In fact, I'm pretty sure I've read articles in the paper that Falmouth is supportive of it. So I don't know what he's talking about, unless it's Hyannis.
We have two different issues here. One, I
Yes.
mean, what we want to do is max out what we're allowed, because
Yes.
we're only at 50% of what we're allowed right
Right.
now. So we need to max that out.
Yeah.
A,
All right,
B,
let's be clear then, where it says for a higher embarkation fee, comma, up to the allowable dollar, or however the right words are.
current allowable
Local.
amount.
Local.
Right, up to the local, there we go.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, okay.
support, and how about this? And support efforts
Yep.
to increase it further
Agreed.
between, that involve all the port towns.
Beyond the maximum allowable amount.
There we go.
Yeah,
There we
support, support those efforts
Yep.
Yeah.
to increase it beyond
Beautiful.
that.
Yeah, I
We're
think,
in.
and I think that recommendation is in another section. So when we
in.
get to it, you can
We're
look at it
here.
and decide whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
Well, you can put it in more than
Well,
one
you can put it
place.
more than-
Oh, yeah, it is in more than one place, but the detail is in another section.
Alright, well, just beef this up and you know what we're after on this section.
Yep, we do.
Okay. The last comment was, it was about the Nantucket Community Sailing. First, they
There's
would
that.
like to, what's that?
There's that.
It's higher up. I just skipped it because I wanted to make sure we covered the other topics first. But let me find it.
Is this a continuation of what we were discussing last
Yeah.
week?
Exactly.
Right.
Since okay, so it is a comment that is, let me see, what is it in? It is in commercial and recreational fishing, so 2.4. Goal 1, objective 2, recommendation 1. So I know we talked about Nantucket Community Sailing for a bit, but I wasn't sure, we kind of didn't have a clear direction as to how we wanted to include them and what we wanted to say. They do desire a year-round facility, and wanted to, they want to be very involved in the harbor plan, and they
We-
also thought it'd be helpful to have shore-based facilities.
Include them by
Tim,
name.
Tim, we, having just done the minutes, it sounded like what we were saying is we don't want to mention them.
Right.
We just, and because there were two other entities that were looking for,
501c3s.
Yeah,
we just wanted to sort of mention the enhancement of the sailing experience for the community without actually pointing to community sailing. So we didn't have people coming after us saying, how come you're doing community sailing and you're not doing us? And that was the gist of that conversation.
and we took it all out because I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah, we took it
And the
out.
participating parties were out. The inviting speakers from maritime, developing internships for school students focused on developing and took that parentheses out.
Yeah, I don't think we should
Yeah, we
mention
shouldn't
any
mention
five oh
anything
one
to
C
do with
three
that.
specifically as being, getting betterment from this plan.
Yeah.
Okay,
we took that.
okay, and then my other question was, they
Hang
asked,
on for a second, inviting speakers from the maritime industry to meet and speak with students in order to develop the skills for maritime trades, including yada, yada, yada. Combine those two and take out Nantucket Community Sailing, period. Because there's a reason why we're inviting speakers from the maritime industry, and that is to develop the kids for skills, yeah, et cetera, et cetera. You catch my drift between those two? That's why we're inviting speakers, because we want to develop skills for maritime trades, et cetera, et cetera. So those two bullet points, combine them and take out any reference to Nantucket community sailing.
Hold on, I have to just read through this and see if what you're saying makes sense to me.
It would just be all one bullet instead of two bullets, and Nantucket community sailing would be out of it.
Okay, so move basically developing internships up. And I'll work on
Yeah,
rewording.
and there'd be after students, it would say to develop internships, yeah.
Okay.
Then end it after boat repair. And then responsible parties, participating parties, take them out.
Okay, that was my other question. They asked to be included in a few different spots for participating parties. Should we be removing them from all?
Yes,
Everybody else agree?
Yes,
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 Yes.
it may effectively in practical use be those parties, but we can't state them because
no,
then
I
you're leaving
agree.
somebody
I
else
agree.
out.
You know, I mean, there's other people that need space and want
Yeah.
space, and there's all good organizations.
Somebody will come bitch.
No,
They can bitch, they'll bitch.
no,
No, not Nantucket. Because you got another one down here, participating party, Harbor and Shellfish Advisory Boards, Egan Maritime Institute. So anytime you get something like that, that's not a town entity, take them out.
like. Egan
Okay, take out all the Egan as well?
Yeah,
Everybody good with that?
yes,
And the Shellfish Association,
and the Shellfish, so anything that's not town implementation
right?
center.
Yeah.
Can
Has
I
to
ask
come
a
out.
question about that? Because I think it seemed to me that staff specifically removed all nonprofits from responsible parties. I don't know if I have a problem having them in participating party because they're not responsible for implementing it. I
But the
don't know.
minute you start listing, you
Well,
leave out somebody,
you know,
and that's what's gonna be
Emily's
a
got a
problem.
point, though. If they're participating, that means they can have some input.
But there may be other people.
Yeah,
That's my
I
problem.
I think that probably most nonprofits, because a lot of us are listed in here somewhere or other that have anything to do with water, have seen this and will have probably said, I want to be listed here or I don't want to be listed there. I know I went through that process for Kim. I don't know how many other nonprofits reviewed this and did that, but
Well, then, if the word says participating party or participating parties such as, you can't limit it to what's on that list. And I deal with the ZBA like that all the time. If you start listing stuff, you're screwed because you leave out something. So if it's
I
gonna
think
be
that's
participating
a great
party
idea.
such as, and leave it at that, and then list them.
that's a
So
good
that
idea.
it's not limiting them to that
Right.
list, but it's suggesting those as options.
That's a good
Okay,
idea.
then that's probably the way we're gonna have to handle it, because
Yeah.
that leaves it open.
So that would be for all participating parties then?
Yes, yes. And any reference to them in the actual text other than that needs to be removed.
Okay,
Okay. Now that we've waded through that,
hold on. That being said, not to go back to this, but then if we're doing such as, should Nantucket Community Sailing be in there too?
yes, anybody that's under that list of participating people, such as those guys.
Yeah,
And that's how we don't limit ourselves and get into trouble. And it's parties such as,
such as, but not limited to.
oh, I like that language. I use that in ZBA stuff all the time.
Such as, but not limited to.
Such as, but not limited to.
Well, it definitely doesn't mean that they're exclusive.
That's right.
You could also maybe, I don't know if people would be comfortable with this, but just have like a statement somewhere at the beginning about the role of responsible party versus participating party and make it clear that for participating party specifically, it's a such as but not limited to.
Yeah, I think
Either
that's,
way.
yeah.
I thought we did that.
Yeah.
I have to go back and look, but I'll make sure that the roles are.
sometimes in here, I just caught one. Under participating parties, you actually put a town entity that has jurisdiction like the Concom.
Where's that?
I don't know what we're doing under participating party. 2.6, voting and navigation, goal 1, recommendation 1. You have participating party as a conservation commission, and that's not actually correct.
Was it a line edit that was made, or is it?
I'm just looking at 2.6, voting and navigation, goal 1, objective 1, recommendation 1, so it's right at the beginning. It says participating parties, the Conservation Commission. And then you got participating parties again under planning board on the next one. So are we mixing apples and oranges here? Because the planning board has regulatory authority, the Concom has regulatory authority, the planning commission does not. But you have us listed under participating parties, I don't know why.
One thing I just will say is I did send it to Will from the Conservation Commission, and he has not gotten back to me yet. I've sent it a couple times, so I don't know.
Probably won't, but there you go.
Can I ask
Okay.
a question, Kim?
Yep.
Didn't at some point, was it Jeff and staff who went through and really edited these different parties all over the place? And
We
if
did.
so, I mean, great for us to make notes and ask questions about these, but I wonder if we should try to hear from him because he clearly had some rationale for this.
Yeah, it's a
All
good
right,
point.
can when Jeff gets back, can you talk to him about Conservation Commission under participating parties as opposed to not or somewhere else? And the planning board is listed as a participating party under recommendation 2, so I'm kind of confused with that. Because they don't have anything to do with that, so I'm just curious why planning board is under participating party on recommendation number 2, right below that.
Yeah, the only issue, going and
Jurisdictional-
making big changes right now, such as that, and it probably applies to other places, is that people have already reviewed it for their committees or for their organizations, and changing it might then end up changing, like, then they'd have to review it all over again.
All right, the only reason I'm saying it on recommendation number 2 is that the planning board has absolutely nothing, having been the chairman, to do with recommendation number 2. Periodically reevaluate issues related to cruise ship visits, nothing whatsoever to do with that.
Well,
Jurisdiction.
Meg reviewed this and kept that in there.
She put that in there?
It was already in there, but she reviewed it and didn't do anything with it. I mean, she provided a lot of other comments, but didn't change that.
I'm not sure she's looking at it as a granular or jurisdictional issue. Planning board has nothing whatsoever to do with recommendation 2, ever, never, not in your life. Planning and Economic Development Commission may be able to consider some of that stuff, because we did it sometime, but certainly not the planning board.
Okay.
So I'm just wondering, because you took it out of the next one.
It was taken out of the next one, not by me, but by Meg.
Well, actually, it is within the planning, because they have to, the ZBA and the HDC planning board have to prove new peers. So I'm sort of surprised that it came out of participating parties completely and not put into responsible parties, because you can't build any of those things unless the planning board approves them. So it's getting a little weird here for me, having been on all of these. Yikers. Well, I'll take a look at this, just from that standpoint. So keep moving. Where's the next one we're talking about?
Okay, yeah, just the tricky part is that people have already reviewed this, so then if we're moving
I'm
them
not
and
sure
then
she reviewed it in that, from our point of view, as to what it was the planning board's involved with here.
okay, yeah, I get what you're saying. I'm just saying from my perspective, I'm like, oh, well, we already ran this by all these people. Do we have to then go back and run it by them all again?
I'll take care of that. I'll take care of that part of it. However, when
Okay.
you say, when you took them out of, just an example, when you took them out of recommendation 8, We took planning board out entirely, however. When the ZBA approves one of these things and the Concom approves one of these things, we do get into lighting. That's becoming standard in all of our Concom decisions now,
Mhm.
is about lighting. And we have dealt with lighting on one of these piers, and the ZBA did on one of these piers, because pre-existing non-conforming. So there is elements of the planning and plus department that are not participating, that are responsible. So that's what I'm saying. I'm having, looking at it from that standpoint, I'm having an issue. I'll go through it.
Okay. All right, okay, the
Okay.
other question that I had was just about the accessibility comment, which I think is under public access. And I created a recommendation for it, and I wanted to make sure everybody felt good about it. So I just have to find it. Sorry, you guys have to.
It's not in here yet, though. It's not in the one I have, right? The old one.
It is on the, it's in the online one. I just have to go back and find it. Sorry, you guys.
When you get a minute, send it back to me. And
Here it is. It's here. Okay. It's improve accessibility to the beaches, waterfront, and dock/piers for those with disabilities. Conduct an inventory of public access sites to document where accessibility features are present or lacking. Some ways to increase the access for those with disabilities include installing lifts at the town pier to allow for boat entry and providing Moby mats to access the beaches.
I would say Moby Mat, there's 3 or 4 companies. I would say Moby Mat type,
Mhm. A
walkway.
type of Moby mat?
I would say Moby Mat type. Because again, if you go back to type before Moby Mat, it's Moby Mat. And there are different companies with different surfaces.
Okay, providing a Moby mat type.
Or just, actually, I would just say handicap accessible or handicap accessible walkway, period. It can be,
Yeah, it could
a
be-
boardwalk like
yeah.
it was over at Gaza. It could be anything.
Okay.
And now-
Is handicap still a word that's okay to use?
We use it when we're talking about parking. Let me think about that.
Handicap,
Well,
Good
look
question.
at the handicap access.
isn't there another term, handy capable?
No, that's politically correct.
Okay, so disabled.
But just check it out, go to the AAB up at the state and find out what the language is. Architectural Access Board of the state. There's an actual definition of accessibility, especially on unstable surfaces like
Mhm.
sand and gravel and things like that, that are not in themselves handicap accessible. And since the land bank just bought, Huffman's place, it is now in violation of handicap accessibility,
Which
just to
one's
take
Huffman's
that back
place?
one step further.
Which one's Huffman's place?
Cliffside.
Oh,
Steve Huffman owned that stuff.
oh, okay.
They used to be partners with Curry before that
Right, right, now
generation
they
died.
bought, yeah, when you
'Cause I
said they
know
just
all
bought it, I
those
thought this was like a recent,
And they don't have any handicap accessibility,
yeah. They can put it
and
in.
they don't have a handicap accessible space in that parking lot. They also went with them. That just occurred to me.
Well, it's work in progress.
No, they can't even have anybody access it until they provide it. It's against the law. So I will have that conversation with Rachel.
Okay, sorry, it was, if handicap accessible is still okay, was it walkways to beaches? Was that what we were looking for?
It could be walkway, it could be pathway. That's what I'm saying. Look it up at the
Yeah.
state on uneven surfaces.
Yep.
And it'll
Okay.
give you, I think it will give you the actual terminology.
Okay.
But it shouldn't be particular to Moby Mat, which is why I'm saying, look at it at the state.
Yep. Okay. All right, those were the big questions that I had for you guys. Is there anything else, if you're scrolling through the comments that were made, the track changes that, I mean, and it's something you can probably do a little more thoroughly after this call, but I just wanted to see if anything jumped out to you that was concerning or.
Do you remember what page or what section we stopped at? Because we didn't get all the way through it.
We got all the way through the comments that I had or the questions that I had. Otherwise, I mean, there are edits. throughout the different sections, but I didn't find any of them to be, all of them seem to be pretty straightforward. But I would recommend that all the committee members take a look at it and make sure that the edits look okay to them.
And Kim, I have something I want to discuss
Yep.
too with the committee. So
Mhm.
go to administration and coordination, goal 2,
Where is that?
page 71, thereabouts.
I'm all the way up to 100. All right, hold on.
What was it again, Jack?
So goal 2, objective 2, recommendation 1 is the recommendation we were talking about, having to do with the embarkation fee. And I would just appreciate if you'd just read that recommendation and let me know if that's okay, the way it's worded there, because that's what I was
Okay.
referring to.
What page?
Mine's 72, but yours may be different.
Which, is it Appendix A background
No,
information?
no. It's still in the main part of the document.
Okay. What section?
Administration and coordination, goal 2,
Okay.
objective 2.
Okay,
Recommendation 1.
increase financial resources.
Yes, so the recommendation that follows that.
Put a warrant article at the next town meeting to increase the ferry embarkation fee from the current 50 cents per.
I think it
I-
should, I think
I
it
could-
should say where it says 50 cents per passenger to the maximum local allowable, or $1 or whatever, however, to
Yeah.
mirror what we said earlier.
Yeah, but if you read the next sentence, Dave, it gets
Oh, I'm
into,
sorry.
it gets into in that portion of it.
Oh, okay,
I
increase the,
still want to say $1 here. I still agree with what Dave's saying.
That's
Because if
fine, that's
$1,
fine,
it becomes something that we have to go to the state for. We don't have to go to the
right?
state.
And
for
that's
$1.
the next sentence covers that.
oh, I see, okay. So at least $1,
Well-
also work with the state.
Legislators and other Cape and Island communities to advance a bill enabling an increase of the fee and then advance a warrant article at town meeting to adopt and implement the maximum fee authorized.
There we go.
You need to say after fee, to advance a bill enabling an increase in the fee above $1.
Sure,
That makes it much more clear.
okay.
Yeah, above 1, okay, that's, yeah, in the fee right there. Increase above,
In the fee above $1,
there you go.
period.
There again, we're clearing it up for them ahead of time.
Mhm.
I would break that sentence. I'd have a
You
period
can,
above
yeah, you can
$1
certainly do that, yep,
and then break the thing there. So
Yeah.
it looks like once you get past that, we gotta go to the state.
yep.
Okay.
And
And
then, go
Party,
ahead.
responsible party is select board, town administration, and annual and town meeting. Some of these things where you've got responsible party are gonna involve specific warrant articles which have to go to town meeting,
Mhm.
which is the regulatory body here. Not
What-
the select board, not the town administration. It's gonna have to be passed at town meeting. So you
Okay, should
probably,
it-
when you get into some of these warrant article things, you should say town meeting for responsible party, because they're the responsible
Alexa,
party.
stop.
That's its own town meeting. In that case, Linda, isn't it its own entity, so to speak?
Which is why I'd say under responsible party, the third one is town meeting.
Okay,
So they understand that town meeting is a responsible party.
Do we need to include town council in that at all?
No,
To come up
they're
with the
not
language-
responsible party.
the language for the warrant article?
No, that's just inherent in the town meeting process.
Okay.
We all have to go run them through them. Anyway,
But town meeting is its own entity, right?
yeah,
Tell them as little as possible.
we listen to them as little as possible. But anywhere you've got anything in here that
Charge it.
references a town meeting warrant article, you've got to add town meeting as its own entity under those other two.
So right there, it should say
Town meeting.
additionally town meeting.
No, you just list it right under town administration, you add town meeting.
Okay. Okay,
Town meeting, or annual town meeting,
No, because we're gonna have specials where this stuff come up.
okay.
So just town meeting.
okay.
All right, then the next recommendation, establish a review committee with representatives from the Harbor and Shellfish Advisory Committee, Public Safety, Transportation, and others with responsibilities to A, carry out the necessary tasks to support an increase in the embarkation fee, which is probably the least important part of this sentence. B, review past and current practices pertaining to
Yes.
the collection and disbursement of these funds.
Yes,
And then C, make recommendations for future expenditures on harbor improvements, harbor-related infrastructure, and purchase of land adjacent to the harbors in furtherance of the goals of the harbor plan.
Yeah,
That-
I put-
That just
Okay.
really pertains to who's going to make the decisions about what happens to that money.
which some of
That's also gonna be town meetings, you better put town meeting in there, because they're all approved under the Article 8, 9, and 10.
okay,
That's
so,
true.
but some of the wording there
Yeah,
is exact duplicate of what's in the enabling legislation. So Jack,
which is good.
again, Jack's driven the point home that's what those funds are supposed to be used for.
My only semantic is that before you hit the next letter, it should be a semicolon, not a comma.
Fine with me.
What?
I'll never get out of my newspaper.
All right, that's above my pay grade.
It's a grammar correction. It's a grammar correction. I'll never get out of it.
But the idea being that this committee, who's composed of harbor-related type people, are going to be making that decision about what that money is used for. That's
What-
different from what I understand happens today.
That's what should properly be happening.
It should be happening, but town meeting has to vote on these budgets.
It's
and we're-
never- It's never been reviewed in 23 years.
Yeah,
But my question to you guys is, would we be better served if we said work group instead of committee?
the selectmen are going to make a determination as to what they call it and what the standing is. So that's a good question. An entity, should we say just entity? Instead of work group or committee? They hate that word committee.
Okay.
They don't like the word committee. That's where I
Yeah,
was at.
that's fair. That's fair.
So an entity,
The entity will just be a placeholder for whatever it's gonna be.
whatever it is.
So whatever
Yeah.
title the
Yeah.
group grant might get if it
Yeah.
actually happens.
Well,
You know, somebody's gonna look at that and they're gonna go, oh Christ, here we go, another committee.
Yeah.
The association.
They don't have to go to town meeting to establish it, but town meeting is gonna have to vote on expenditure of funds, period,
That's fine.
Okay.
here, anyway.
All right. Could we back up one
Yeah,
objective?
Quick
Go
question
ahead.
though, establish a review, is that what, we want to change that committee to entity?
Yeah,
I think that's what they're saying, yeah.
Okay.
So let's back up one.
Okay, the other comment I just have is if we are including town meeting in some of these, I think it would be worth somebody going through, Linda, maybe when you go through and look at planning board, et cetera, making sure that town meetings and the recommendations that they should be in.
okay.
Okay.
All right, Jack, where are you now?
All right, I'm on same goal, objective, under objective one though. Now we're looking at recommendation one.
Mhm.
This recommendation used to say, support, restore the harbor master department to an entity independent of the administrative jurisdiction of the police department. For a
Which-
number of
which-
reasons, that was
Yeah.
changed
Wait
to,
a minute.
are you with me, Linda?
No. is this goal-
Recommendation one, now it says assess the departments and committees that
Yeah, committee,
exercise or
yeah.
influence
got
management
that.
decisions. Got it?
I got that.
Okay. So my question is that recommendation okay? Because it used to be the recommendation that said, move the harbor master out of the police department.
I still think we can say that.
Yeah, why did that get
Why-
changed?
I'm not loosey-goosey on this.
Is
there a reason why?
There was some conversations that occurred that included the harbor master and the administration of the town that wasn't necessarily supportive of a recommendation of that recommendation, but
I don't
but
care.
but well, I know, but then so and then thinking about it, since that recommendation was probably not going to go anywhere, whether we could express it in different terms. In other words, to assess the entire way that decisions are made concerning the harbor and waterfront, and then after that assessment is done, to conclude that there's a better way to organize it.
No,
Pretty
because what they're
vague.
doing now is they're taking the money and paying for the summer specials and whatnot. And they're gonna consider the summer specials sitting down at the High Line, not directing traffic necessarily, but sitting down at the High Line as part of harbor operations. So no,
Well,
I mean,
I think you're
doesn't-
you're explaining why not, but that's the reason why it's also that the way it exists today, right? I mean,
Where does
it's
it-
a financial question.
Where does it say about the review like the Gloucester review?
Oh, yeah, David, it actually says it above it in the needs, number 3. It says there's an opportunity to review the entire harbor operation similar to what was done in Gloucester. And I said it in parentheses, assessment of the Harbor Master Department, City of Gloucester, 2015.
All right, Kim, can
But
you
I can move that
scroll
down.
up just to that, what he was just reading?
Yep,
Where does it say that?
right here.
Oh, okay.
But
So,
that should be moved. I admit it should be moved down into the recommendation, I think, if you all agree to agree that
that's-
that's a good idea.
at a minimum, it needs to be assessed. And Harbor Shellfish Advisory Board, who is supposed to advise the selectmen on decisions about choosing the harbor master and shellfish warden, needs to be a responsible party.
Agreed.
I just think if we leave it too loose,
Yeah,
they're gonna say, well, the summer specials or whatever that goes on down there are necessary for harbor management. And I'm going,
Well-
how do we fight against that unless we
Well,
come down
let's go
hard
back
on
to
the
that.
harbor master?
can we go back to where we were? Okay, so assess the departments and committees that exercise. So who is gonna do the assessment?
Yeah.
You know, that's open-ended. So if right now the harbor master is part of the police department, then the police department's gonna assess it and say it's fine just the way it
It's the
is.
way it is.
So that doesn't really, that recommendation doesn't do what we wanted it to do. And even if what we wanted to do is probably not gonna happen, doesn't mean we shouldn't
We shouldn't
state
say
what we wanted to happen.
So, and what should that be then?
After we-
Harbor Shellfish Advisory Board should be added there under responsible party.
It's
Or,
under participating, it's under participating party already.
all right, well, just as long as they're represented, because they're the ones that's supposed to
I
make
think,
these
I think
recommendations.
responsible is better than
Well, the
participate.
problem is they don't have any regulatory ability like the other.
But if they're assessing, then they're a responsible party, because that's part of their mandate is to assess these things, right?
Yeah,
They do, it's in enabling legislation that that's their job is to
So they
guide the
should be
select.
responsible party.
I also think town meeting has to go here, because if we're going to split them off, I think there was a vote to just do that already. If we're
They
gonna
didn't-
split them off, they have their own line item and 8, Article 8, et cetera, et cetera. So again, we're back to town meeting.
They didn't go to
They can't
town
be
meeting to
creative
move
enough.
them.
But I don't know how to reword the recommendation, but
I'm
assess,
not happy with it.
assess the department, who's gonna do the assessment, as I said?
And she's not a department, she's in the police department. So that's not working for me.
It's very, very vague.
Yeah, you're
Should the
gonna have,
Gloucester thing be added here additionally?
so who?
Yes, I think that's necessary, and I thought it was there and it's not.
The cost review.
That could serve as an
Cost
example.
harbor Operation review, as an example of how to review their
I
operation.
think they did it in Marblehead where my brother was.
Operational review is, I don't know if any of you have had a chance to read the Gloucester review, but I've been involved in doing these reviews of other departments, and it's an operational review. And you make the recommendation that they should be a standalone entity or continue to be part of the police department. But it needs to be an independent standalone review.
We need to be very clear about that statement. We're the ones doing this thing, and this operation being under the police department has caused innumerable problems and not giving her the power that she needs, or whoever's in the office. We can't particularize it to Sheila. But whoever's in that, she's not gonna be there forever. Whoever's in that office needs to have its own jurisdiction, its own budget, and its own control. And that goes back to the embarkation fee, because she's over there. They're scarfing it for their people, and they're gonna say that those guys are critical to the harbor management down there, when the boys have told me directly, boys and girls have told me directly, they don't have any jurisdictional power down there. They're standing there.
So,
Well, unfortunately, the enabling legislation for the embarkation fee also has public safety. So that's where they're getting away with that.
public safety.
Well, the
officer.
public safety, which they've told me they can't do, which is why,
Yeah.
Danny was down there as a police officer, backing them up, but he was the one that was patrolling on foot all over town, and he couldn't be everywhere, and he's retired. So we've got this issue that we need to be very clear about this. I just don't think that's where this language is.
Okay, and that's fine. That's fine. And I think with this all, I think that's how we ended up with conduct the assessment of harbor operations in order to then
But what-
understand and be able to articulate why you would want it to change.
For what goal, though? Then put the goal down to make the harbor department, the harbor master department, or however you
An
want.
independent department.
Independent from the police department, then be very clear about why we're trying to assess this.
The
It
Marine-
has to have a goal
Marine Department.
for that marine department. It has to have a goal. For what are we assessing it for if there's no goal? There you go. What's the goal? So figure that out.
Well, I think to improve overall operations that has to do with investments and management of harbor
They'll
resources.
go with another on-duty police officer. That's
No,
what they're gonna.
I don't disagree with you that may
let's
where it
not
may
do that.
lead.
Then the objective is to separate the two and make it its own standalone department again, which is what it was since the inception, as Dave knows, of the Marine Department. It's been its own department because I worked for the harbor master in 1972, all the way to 1981, Alan Holgate, and it was our own department. He was the
No,
harbor master.
I understand that.
We have
I-
something in there about evaluating the pros and cons of
Yeah, essentially
establishing
that's what.
it as an independent, department, something like that.
But it
Yeah,
needs to be here, somewhere stated very clearly here, that the reason why they're assessing this is to make them stand alone or get separated or whatever, because that's not mentioned in here at all.
Okay.
Remember, it's always about the money.
Of course it is. But I think every one of us would vote in favor of having it be a standalone. We did, for 50 years, we voted for it to be by itself, and now it's not. And that's not saving any money. It's just creating an issue.
David, what was the reason that the police department took it over? Was it to get their hands on the embarkation
It was,
pieces?
no, it was to get their hands on the $750,000 of mooring fees.
Yeah.
They legislation, we fought to have the legislation changed. The harbor masters fought to have the legislation changed to have the mooring money, which used to go to the general fund, along with the rental mooring fee, which is significant amount of money, went to the general fund, and then harbor masters fought to get the legislation changed to have that money dedicated to the Waterways Improvement Fund. And in Nantucket's case, that's almost $750,000, and that legislation passed, and that's how they could get their hands on the money.
Yeah,
So then we need to make the goal or the recommendation. Reestablish the Marine Department as an independent agency
yes,
that is
with its own budget
with
and
its own
everything else,
budget and funding.
and jurisdiction,
mechanisms.
and everything else. So figure out how you want to write that for the next meeting, because we're gonna get stuck right
But
here.
I think that's what our intent was all along when discussing
Okay.
it. Is that correct, Peter?
Yeah, and I thought that,
And
You know,
if the town
listening-
doesn't like it, if the town reviewed this and they don't like it, it's saying.
well, I was under the
We'll
impression
fight for
from
it.
CAB meetings and having Sheila tell us that this was something that was in the works. It was on, you know, she got,
You did say that.
she got, she got out of the union and she was preparing to be in charge of the reestablished Marine Department, and the town was backing her, and that was gonna happen. And all of a sudden I'm hearing from,
Well, we've since found out, unfortunately, Peter, that's not
Well-
entirely true.
okay,
That there was some discussion, if you remember, and I appreciate you bringing this up to help me with this. There was some discussion about a 3-year transition plan
Yeah,
that she had talked about. There never was such an entity. And the situation apparently between her and the police department has improved with the new police chief, but that shouldn't affect our goal,
No,
initial
no,
initial goal that we had. We just got to craft the wording to, you know, to get to the end game of evaluating it and getting it moved back, if
Yeah.
appropriate.
and even if the town fights it and fights it and fights it,
we'll go to town.
we,
meeting.
we as a committee have felt this was important, so it should be in the recommendation of the
Absolutely.
plan that we're doing as the
yeah, and
committee.
it's just a recommendation. We're not saying it's gonna happen. We're just saying that the town backs this, and do with it as you will. And it's not, and we're just putting it up so the implementation committee can make it happen. So.
Yeah, so we don't
I
want
don't
to
know
pussyfoot
anybody
around
who
here.
works on or around the water that is pleased with having the Marine Department
No.
folded into the police department.
No, everybody I've talked to, get it out, get it back to where it was.
Anybody, you know,
Yeah, so
said it.
we need to not
It's much
play
better
games
the way-
here, Jack. We need to not push
Okay.
around here.
Yep.
This is, we're putting a stake in the sand on this one.
I
Okay.
agree.
Yeah, I liked, I think it was Steve that provided the language to establish the Marine Department as an independent agency. Separate, do you want to say separate from the police department, or is that
Independent
necessary?
department, separate from the police department, independent department, not an agency, it's a department.
Okay, I think actually think that's the language that we had originally. Restore the Harbor Master Department into the independent of the
Yeah,
administrator.
within town administration.
It's always about the money.
Well, they gotta cut this shit out.
Yeah.
Come on.
Well, I agree. I mean,
Okay, make that change.
Irritating people for how many years now? 4 or 5 years?
At least people that work in the harbor, and this is the harbor.
Yeah.
You know, it'd be just 5 seconds of history. 1990. Well, actually, when George Resendes took over in 1980 from Alan Holgate, they created the Marine and Shellfish Department.
Yeah.
And George Resendes was made the Marine Superintendent. When I
Yeah.
took that job in 1990, I became the Marine Superintendent in charge of Shellfish and Marine Department. And then later on, we changed it to Marine and Coastal when I took on Natural Resources, Concom, and all those other entities. But it was always a standalone department. And
Should
it's
we say then-
significant enough in this town that it should have its own voice.
Should we put the right name in then, Shellfish and Marine Department?
Right now, it's the Harbor Master Department. It was changed from Shellfish and Marine to Marine and Coastal Resources Department when we added Concom and those other
Right.
groups.
Or should it say now
Umbrella.
Shellfish and Marine Department?
I'm
as
sorry.
opposed- Shouldn't it say Shellfish and Marine Department instead of Harbor
No.
Master Department?
No, all shellfish is controlled under Carlson.
Okay, what about, just say Marine Department then?
Marine Department.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Marine Department to me makes more sense than Harbor Master Department,
I
Okay.
agree.
yeah, that's what I'm saying,
No.
because the Marine Department.
It was
covers
always
a
the
lot
Marine.
but
more
just
than our-
not and shellfish.
Yeah, just Marine Department then.
Right.
I mean, on my contacts, it's still listed as Marine
Department, I have it in here.
Okay,
Okay,
All right.
we are
thank you.
2:31 now.
2:30. It's 2:30. Wanted to see when you guys wanted to meet again. We obviously have a lot of work to do on our end just to make these updates, clean everything up. I know Linda, you want to take a look at the responsible and participating parties. I recommend actually everybody goes through, ideally by the end of the week. and takes a look at the edits and then also, Linda, if you look at the responsible and participating parties.
Can you send me this latest version? I have the
Yeah,
one.
can you
from
send it
this
to
one.
all of us?
Can you send the latest
Yeah.
version?
It has to be in a link because it's too big for email.
The link will be in the email though, right?
Mhm.
Exactly.
Okay. I'll open it and
Um,
save it. Jeff showed me how to save it.
Sounds good.
Okay,
Okay.
great. And then when do we want to meet again? I mean, the big things now are to clean this up and we still haven't heard from a number of the responsible and participating parties, and that
You gotta hunt those guys down.
Or just, no, they have a timeline. If they don't respond, they're.
Well,
out of
particularly
luck.
Sheila. She's the one I really want.
Well, Emily, didn't you talk to Sheila?
Well,
Yeah.
I can help with that. Emily talked to her and went over it line by line. I went over it line by line with her.
Yeah.
So I don't believe that you're gonna get another input from her, but I know
Okay.
that the changes that I had from her and the ones that Emily had from her got incorporated.
Okay,
I mean,
I
if the
just wanna make
if the
sure.
Concom doesn't, has been asked 2 or 3 times and they don't wanna respond, then we can't wait on them.
No, we can't wait on us because it hasn't.
Emily, did I say that right?
Yes,
What?
I basically went through the draft and I highlighted everywhere that the word harbor master was found, and I was sure to review with her every place that the that the draft said harbor master.
Yeah, I did too, so.
Is that when you went over the harbor master thing?
Mhm.
Kim, you need to look at that when we're talking about a department. And you should say probably harbor master / marine department if we're talking about changes. Just to make sure that we're consistent before we ever get to this last part.
Well, I gotta tell you that 99% of this town, including the selectmen, when they're having a conversation, still,
We probably say marine
Still-
department.
still say Marine Department.
Yeah, we all do. So
We all-
if it's referencing in this report, just type in, do a word search on harbor master. And make sure that if we're talking about a specific person. As opposed to a department. You gotta make sure that the word marine is or is not necessary in that particular section.
Going back sorry, I know we're over 2:30, but the police department wanted to be referenced there.
Where?
Next
Oh, we
to
went
the
over that
harbor.
already.
We saw
we
that.
said
We
no,
all
we
said
said
no.
Head down.
Marine Department. We didn't want to say Marine Department hyphen harbor master. We
Yeah,
just
no,
wanted to
we
say
took the
harbor.
police department out of everything to do with this.
Right.
That was-
I know,
It's
but
like,
I'm just saying is that then, if we are adding more next to the harbor master department, is that then really conflicting with the police department's comment?
Well,
we don't care.
this is just our recommendation. That doesn't mean it's law. It means this is what we recommend. When it comes to the implementation committee, and we come to this point. That'll be the implementation committee calling in whoever to make this happen, and. The police department is welcome to come back and reiterate its needs. We're just recommending it. I'm not saying it's.
So you're saying under responsible and participating parties, we should list harbor master - marine department? Is that what you're saying?
No,
And then just harbor
it's
master.
harbor master.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, I think I misunderstood what you were saying.
Yeah, I did too.
No, because originally it was police department hyphen harbor master, and that's how they refer to Sheila. And the conversation was, all of us did not agree that it should say police department before harbor master, because we were trying to get Sheila out of there and into
Marine
the
Department.
Marine Department.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what I was saying is that we're recommending that happen.
Yeah.
We're not saying it's going to happen. We're just saying this is our recommendation. And they can bat it away and put it back where they can.
Yeah, no, that's all fine. That's all fine. I was just clarifying something. I was confused by what you said. Yep, that all works. Just in terms of meeting again, I just wanted to show what is coming up with the schedule. So we need to finalize this plan. And then the town will, ideally, we have to submit it to the town. The town approves the plan, and then we formally submit the plan to the state for approval. CZM reviews the plan gets noticed in the environmental monitor, and along with a date and time for a local hearing to obtain in-person comments. Then the comment period is open, and then a consultation period begins, and then the written decision will be made by the state within 21 days. With all of that said, when do we want to meet again? I'm just trying to think of a next step as to when we actually need to meet again. I think the big thing is just going to be finalizing the plan, and then we have to submit it to the town.
And then I need to get to you, Kim, all the dates of the meetings that I have not done the minutes of, so that we can ratify them at that next meeting, and so you can have that on the agenda.
Yep, perfect.
Is it realistic that our next meeting, we can finish this thing into a form that we can submit?
I think so.
Yeah.
And how does everybody else feel?
I think so. I mean,
I mean,
Yeah,
Longer.
Kim, do you think that sounds right?
yeah, I mean, I think that right now the big thing would be for you guys to take a look. I mean, what we could do is meet in 2 weeks, and you guys take a look in the meantime, and then come with any outstanding questions or comments or anything. And that would be the only, you know, I don't have any other questions for you guys, but I think if you guys take a look and then come with questions, then we can address any of those and then formally finalize it.
So 2 weeks is October 6th.
I'm in, I've been away for an entire year. I'm in New Hampshire that week,
Which week? First week of October,
Yep.
first full week,
first full week.
and then Columbus Day weekend is the next weekend.
That's the next Monday.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't want to go too far into October because we want to try and finish this by the end of the year, and there's, you know, a lot of comment period days and other days built in there.
Okay. So could we do it that sometime in the second week after Columbus Day weekend, like the 14th, the 15th, or the 16th? Because we've had I think we had one time had a meeting on a
That's
Thursday.
fine with me.
Hold on. We gotta figure out when, Comcom is, but that's always in the
That worked-
afternoon.
that works
Dr.
for me.
Kristen, do you think that's getting too late in the schedule?
And Phil
We
Keller
were
was,
looking at like October 14th, 15th.
I mean,
I-
I think it's fine, Kim, because
Okay.
some of this is probably gonna take longer than is outlined here anyway.
Mhm.
And if we need to do another extension with the state, we can. If it means that we can actually get a quorum, I think we need to focus on getting a quorum for the next meeting.
Pretty
I can't-
available 14th, 15th, or 16th, I
That should
believe,
be
right
okay,
now.
those 2 days.
I can't meet on the 14th. I'm off island for appointments.
The 15th would be better for me than the 16th.
Okay,
Okay, 15th.
that should work.
Hmm.
Send that out to everybody, Kim, to make sure that works for everybody else.
Yeah, you're
What
missing a
time
regular-
though on the 15th, we have to be at another public meeting in the
Can we
afternoon?
do it a little earlier?
We can do it earlier.
Yeah, I'm fine earlier.
you do a morning meeting,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, would like,
10 or something?
yeah, 10 work?
10 o'clock.
we gotta check to make sure some room is available somewhere.
We
Mhm.
can meet in the parking lot. We'll put the TV out the window.
So Jeff's gonna have to deal with that. So we say 10 o'clock on the
Yep.
15th.
Yep, okay.
I'll go up there, call up there and tell them to do that.
Do we need to budget extra time over an hour?
I think so. We
Let's
wanna
make-
go 10 to 12 because we gotta book the room for a certain time.
Yeah, I mean, if we can outspend the extra time, if we can
If we can just get it.
finish it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
does
okay.
that work,
I'd
everybody?
rather spend an extra hour than try and schedule another meeting
Except for the, the group here.
Right.
Yeah.
personally.
Great.
Does it
That
give you
sounds
enough
good.
time, Kim, to go to your next meeting after that?
Yeah, that should be good. That's
Oh,
good.
okay.
Thank you.
Well, Nantucket's the priority. These other meetings.
You're the only harbor plan we're working on. Number
Sure
one.
enough.
All right, that sounds great. Thank you, everyone. Sorry for keeping you later.
Motion to adjourn?
Okay, Steve made a motion to adjourn. Peter, you second?
Second,
Steve,
Aye.
Peter,
all right.
Emily,
Aye.
Dave?
Aye.
Okay, thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you,
guys.
guys.
Thank you.
We managed to
Bye.
pull it out.